Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about what to wear for a job interview. Now this could be an in-person interview or it could be a virtual interview. The rules are very similar, but there are some differences, so we'll talk about those in just a bit. I also want to provide a very clear disclaimer that these are just my subjective opinions. They are not the rule because there truly are no rules. You'll want to take all of this advice that I'm sharing with you today, any additional advice you get from other people, websites, things like that, and compare it to the job that you're applying to, the organization that you're applying to, and the industry that that organization exists. So while I believe there are some best practices when it comes to deciding what to wear for an interview, there is no true right or wrong answer because it all is very dependent on the job that you're applying to, the organization in which you're applying, and the industry that you're working. So before I jump into my tips on what to wear for an interview, I want to give a quick shout out to Bill, the company's expert. He's another YouTube channel that provides really great advice and insights for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and business owners. He has a lot of great advice when it comes to preparing for interviews. So if you're looking for some additional content in that, please check out his channel. I've linked to it in the description box below. When it comes to interviews, you are making a first impression based off of how you look. And while that is somewhat unfortunate and we can't really control for that, your interviewers will likely be making a judgment based off of how you look and their general feeling about you. So this is not only how you look physically, how put together you are, what your interview attire looks like, but it's also how you answer questions, how you engage in eye contact, smiling, etc. So attire isn't everything, but it is one of the things that the interviewer will judge you on at first. It doesn't feel fair, and it might even be somewhat biased. Most of the time, those biases are unconscious, and we can't control those. So you want to make sure you are giving yourself the best opportunity possible to be moved forward in the next round of this hiring process. So give yourself that opportunity by dressing professionally. So my two first quick tips when it comes to deciding what to wear for an interview is, one, you can just ask the recruiter or the hiring manager what the expectations are for dress code. You will not be dinged for asking this question. If you are preparing for an interview, whether it's in person or virtual, you can send a quick email ahead of time asking this question. What are the expectations for the dress code? Asking ahead of time only sets you up for success. That way you know for sure what the expectations are and the standards are for this interview. You won't be overdressed and you won't be underdressed. The other general tip when it comes to deciding what to wear for an interview is to dress one level above the standard attire for this job. You can do some research. You can make an inference. Maybe this is a manual labor job where you are expected to wear steel-toed shoes or reflective vests and jeans. Maybe this is more of an administrative job where you will be sitting in an office setting. Depending on what the job is, you can make some inferences on what the type of attire may be. You can also do some research. Google the company, look at people's LinkedIn profiles, see what sorts of pictures of people appear and what they're wearing. Are they wearing more business formal attire, where they're wearing suits, dresses, skirts, etc.? Or is it more business casual, where they're wearing slacks but a polo or a nice blouse? So you can do some research ahead of time. You can make some general inferences. Most of the time, you can follow your gut and you'll probably be making the right choice as long as you feel like you're dressing one level above what the standard level of attire would be for the type of job that you're interviewing for. Overall, my preference is to keep it simple. You do not want to wear something that is too distracting. So you do not want something that has really busy patterns on it. If you can go with solid colors, that's probably your best bet. You don't want to be remembered for a distracting piece of clothing or a distracting accessory. For example, I once was sitting in a Zoom meeting with a speaker who had really large earrings that would clank, and her microphone would pick up that clanking sound. I remember her because of those earrings, not because of the content that she shared during that meeting. So you don't want to be remembered for that distracting piece of clothing or that distracting accessory. So keep it simple. Less is more. In general, when you are going to an interview, again, whether it's virtual or in person, you want to dress professionally. And what does that mean? Now, the definition of professional is probably very different if you were to ask me versus someone else. Your definition of professional might even be a little bit different. But in general, when it comes to dressing professional for an interview, you want to make sure that you are clean. This means that your clothing is clean and that you yourself are well groomed. So you want to make sure that your fingernails look nice, that they're not all jagged, that you don't have nail polish that's all crumbly and cracking. You want to make sure that you are well groomed when it comes to your hair, both your hair on your head and any other body hair. So if you have a beard or a mustache or a goatee, you want to make sure that it's groomed and it doesn't look too shaggy. Your clothing should be laundered. You shouldn't have any outstanding stains that are way too obvious. You know, every once in a while you might have a shirt that gets armpit stains. You wouldn't want to wear that to an interview. You could maybe wear that under a jacket or a blazer, cover that up, but in most cases you want to avoid having excessive stains and you want to make sure that your clothing appears clean. You also want your clothing to be in good condition. So this means, again, no stains, no rips or tears, and that it fits relatively well. I'm not going to be wearing ripped jeans to an interview. So make sure the clothing that you choose to wear is in somewhat good condition. You also want to dress in a more conservative manner. So this means that you want to show less skin. You don't want to be wearing tank tops or cut-off shirts. You don't want to be wearing clothing that comes up too high on your midline or clothing that cuts down too low to show cleavage or your chest. You also want to make sure that your pants are long enough. At minimum, you want to make sure that it hits at your knee or lower. You do not want anything above your knee. More coverage is better during an interview. When it comes to your shoes, you do not want to wear flip-flops or athletic shoes. In general, closed-toed shoes or nice sandals, loafers, things like that. You do not want to wear your sneakers that you would wear going to the grocery store or going to the gym, or what you might wear at the pool or walking to your mailbox. You want to wear shoes that are comfortable, that are relatively simple, and that are not too casual. If you choose to wear heels, in general, the rule is that you want to wear heels that are 2.5 inches or lower. You don't need super high stilettos or anything like that. For myself, I typically choose a simple pair of black ballet flats. And then finally, you have accessories. You can wear accessories. You can wear a necklace, you can wear earrings, you can wear a bow tie, a tie, you can wear a scarf, things like that. But you do not want to be too over the top. You want to keep it relatively simple, and you do not want to be remembered for those loud earrings. You cannot control how the interviewer feels about you, but you can control how you show up, which can then influence how the interviewer feels about you. If I'm going to show up for a professional position wearing a tank top and jeans and flip-flops, that's going to be a very different impression than if I show up wearing a nice blouse, some slacks, and some closed-toed ballet flats. Now, if you're doing a virtual interview versus an in-person interview, the rules are basically the same. However, I highly recommend for a virtual interview that you wear solid colors. No matter what, wear a solid color. Do not wear green if you're going to be using a virtual background because your green top could blend in with the green screen that's making the virtual background, and then you just be a floating head. And when it comes to your complexion, if you have a darker complexion, wear lighter solid colors. And if you have a lighter complexion, wear darker solid colors. Typically in a virtual interview, it's just from about your chest up, but you still want to be safe and you want to wear pants and shoes and socks. Dress the full part. The last thing you need is to stand up or have some tech issues where you stand up and they see you in your boxers or your underwear. So dress the full part as if you were going in person for an interview. And my recommendation is to wear solid colors, darker colors if you're lighter complexion, and lighter colors if you're darker complexion. If you feel like you don't have appropriate interview attire, there are many options available to you. You can likely find secondhand clothing on websites like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or websites like ThredUp. Amazon also has some relatively affordable attire as well. You could also go to a local consignment shop. Ones that are near me include Goodwill, The Ark, and Salvation Army. There may also be organizations in your community that will provide you with interview attire for free if you are unemployed and seeking job opportunities. You'll have to do the additional research to determine what those organizations are and where you might be able to find them, but there are resources out there for you. I do not recommend going out and buying a brand new interview outfit for every interview that you have. You likely will have a few staples in your closet, a nice pair of slacks or dress pants, a nice top, whether it's a button-up top, a polo, a blouse, and a jacket or blazer. Have some closed-toed shoes, and you'll be able to rotate those out for various opportunities. Hopefully you don't have to overthink this. However, if you are feeling like you need some additional support and you would like me to make a video on specific outfits that I would recommend to wear for an interview, please let me know. If you have some favorite clothing that you'd like to share in the comments below, please feel free to do so. I welcome all ideas, sizes, shapes, styles, etc. Throw them in the comments box below so that you can help someone else who may be going through this same question in the future, wondering what they can wear for their interview. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any additional questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, throw them in the comments box below. I love receiving comments, and while I will do my best to get back to you individually, if I'm not able to, your comments, the things that you share in the comments below, will likely help someone who's going through something similar in the future. If you are looking for more one-on-one career coaching or interview preparation coaching, please contact me today. I have a limited number of slots available each week to help people prepare for their interviews. So if this is something that you're interested in, I've linked to my email as well as my website in the description box below. One of the aspects of those interview coaching sessions could also be a discussion about what you could wear. So if you have a couple of options and you'd like my input on what you could wear for your upcoming interview, we can also discuss that during an interview strategy session. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.